Welcome to the Honest War Game. Oh shit, I broke the microphone. Hello, welcome to the Honest War Game. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome. I honestly don't know what the stream streak is. If anyone can work out for me, that'd be great. Welcome to the stream streak. It's midday. That means it's party time. I'm your host, Rob. And today, I'm just going to be hanging out with you guys. I'm going to be doing some painting. I'm currently painting up some Hellblasters. Now, before we get started, 40k bros, I know why. They're shit. Listen, I'm with you. It's just they're super easy to paint while I'm streaming, and I've got 15 of them. So maybe I'll try them one time, and they're so easy. So easy, like, whatever. That's what I'm doing, and I'm just hanging out with you guys. This is my last thing I'm painting before Project Terrain. That's right, I have 16 boards of terrain to paint. So for the Super Series venue, the TSN Arena, and I am hype, but also terrified, if I'm honest with you. So that's it. Anyway, today's show, there's been some great guests on this week. Fucking Henry Steele, Mike, the fucking 40k adjacent sellouts, and of course, such lovely man. That's so mean. And a wonderful Owen Jackson. Tomorrow, Tom Layton's going to be talking about Space Wolves. Sunday, we have a hobby hangout with all of the cool dudes, Mamdare, John. So it's a great day. So I just kind of missed you guys, so I just thought I'd hang out and chat. If that's all right with you dudes. Scrubhammer Stream says, ask anything, how big are your feet? 11 and a half? I'll have you know, I have large feet, large hands, medium dick. Settling the debate on Misthaven. To me, Misthaven is a special place where my wife is pegging me. I dream about the last block of 90 witch elves, bottoms and bikinis I dry brushed, and the next block of 90 I have to do. Style, you're going to get there, baby. Do you remember when we talked about pegging a lot? That was such a fun... That was like the 140s. Do you remember that? That was fun. Hey, Jabs, that guy, Hermanista. Hermanista, I hope you're well, man. It was really nice to see you. You've been painting much recently. Having done 24 boards from scratch for NWO events. Good luck. Yeah, buddy. Buddy, I know. I'm kind of going to cheat. I'm going to try and make 4 demon boards, which will be usable for Age of Sigmar and 40k. That's right. I'm all ridge brain today. No smooth brain. Hey, Donaldinho. Get a big shout out for Donald in the chat. Lovely fella. You have to train to paint. I have a house. That's kind of the same. John Thompson, hello. Yo, in a team meeting, it's only getting comments on the beard. I'm good. I'm only getting comments and the beard. Oh, hi, I'm a good demon honest. Like you a lot. What's the right size brush for painting a wall? Small detail brush, basically. Hey, Hellstorm Dan, what's going on? It's all about medium ducks. Don't talk to me about ducks, it's terrifying. But you can't get DOK in Misthaven. You can't. You can put them in Harkuron. Which of your own Honest Wargamer do you use? What's the question, John? R. Brown, thanks for subscribing. I'm going to have to subscribe. Thanks loads of people. Donald, thanks for subscribing. Bar on Saturday. And Malk, listen, you've subscribed for 6 months and I need to get your name right at this point. Let me know how to say it. Stream Streak saved 2020. Now let Super Series win 2020 for us all. 2021. It is going to. I'm fucking so excited for Super Series. And R. Brown, thanks for subscribing and joining the team. It's really nice here. You're new to the party. Right, anyway, that's all. Everyone on the Honest War Game Patreon, thank you so much. I take a bow in your honour. And everyone listens to the podcast, please, drink loads of water. So Hellstorm Dan is sat at his door waiting for his Blood Bowl box to come. How fucking cool is Mike that was on yesterday? I think last time we had him on the show, I just spent the next day being like, what a fucking great guy. And Rambo Squirrel, when he talked to us about Marvel Crisis Protocol, it's really exciting having people who are super passionate about like their miniature game on the show, because they're just so enthusiastic. And I think that's one of the things that sometimes maybe gets lost a little bit on the show, and I worry about, because obviously we try to be analytical about stuff, and I'm passionate, otherwise I wouldn't even be able to, it's quite hard to not care. I care a lot. But then sometimes it's just, stuff shitty, so you got to say it, and that sucks. Anyway, whatever. Still waiting for my Forge World book so I can get all sorted about Leviathan changes in person instead of just online. Well, I have something to say about that in a moment. Hawkeye, thanks for subscribing. Very excited about seeing you at the Super Series Hawkeye on the tabletop. Lee Bromley, what up? Hawkeye, just throwing this out there, has the Lord Veritant become the top ban in the Super Series? Wait, hold on. Midi Evil M, thanks for subscribing, babe. David M, hello. Diedrin, oh, lovely fella. Ask me anything. When the rampant bow crime settles in Nottingham, and Boris says it's safe to resume fun activities with friends, how long do you think it would take to turn around and get a new series on track? P.S. Fuck you, buddy. No time at all. In fact, one of the things that we've done over the past couple of months is like I've just polished up all the things that were wrong with the venue. Like we've cleaned up, we've built more tables, we've painted the floor. Like some of the tech like worked a bit ropey, so we were meant to record the games, but it recorded at a low frame rate, and I hadn't known that. I now have fixed all that and problem solved that. We had some sort of some stuff going on where like we weren't necessarily getting all live updates on score, so the clever Mr. Tom Wallace has sorted out so that like the commentators have like a whole screen where they get live updates on score information that isn't just coming from table bosses. So like really good, and all of the teams are prepped and ready. Like I know like the Marauders are super excited. Like everyone is ready to go. So like it will just be a case of like when we get the date will be the major problem. But as soon as we get the go ahead, but we all know. So if you guys aren't from England, we've all had some easing of restrictions occur, or we're about to have some easing of restrictions occur, but not really. They're still like very, very restrictive. It's mainly so that everyone can go to the shops for Christmas and then go and see their mum and dad for Christmas. Not that I would probably advise that if you care about them. And then so yeah, like that's so we don't really have a proper one. But the answer is Diedrin, super quick, and also we'll be able to run events super quick as well here. Like that's the whole point of our Project Terrain coming soon, is so that everything will just be ready to rock at the venue ASAP. I wish everyone had the same level of excitement as Nath when he talks about anything that isn't Gits. Mikey's streaming ATM. Question, how do you feel about Blood Bowl after yesterday? Jog PLC, I feel very good about it. I've always felt really good about Blood Bowl. I just don't have anyone locally to play with particularly. And I also feel like it's one of those games that you can invest in quite heavily. And investing heavily in 40k and 80 is pretty much enough for my brain. I'd like people who are able to also... Maybe Blood Bowl would be the perfect recreational game, but I'd need someone who's like the guy that's going to learn. You know, like, I'll learn this. That's not a problem. And then takes you through it. But yeah, you should go check out Mike. If Jog, feel free to link Mike's Twitch channel in here, and then we'll go raid him at the end of the show because he's just a fucking wonderful guy who loves what he does. What's the best bow for hunting the Welsh? I wish I knew so much more about bow crime. Have you guys ever seen? This is not relevant or Warhammer related. Oh, what up, Chris? Hope you're well. I would like some Breaking Blood Bowl news. Yes, please. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, but there's a guy who does like how bow... You know the idea of the quiver for the bows? So having all your... Which is quite funny if you look at like the Lumineth and a lot of the models that we use in fantasy. The idea of the quiver apparently is a bit of a falsehood invented by Hollywood and cinema and wasn't really very real. There's a guy on YouTube, I don't know if you guys know him particularly well, and he has like... he shows someone just like fire, like he holds loads of arrows in his hands and just kind of fires quite short range. Because again, the idea of the English longbow, you know, like the arcing shots, again, is like, well, that did happen. That was more, that was a specific instance. Short bows were more like a lot of shots very, very close. Imagine it like a pistol rather than a rifle. We really generally tend to think of them as like a rifle sort of situation. And, so you guys should go check him out. I can't remember what his name is. It's just like type into YouTube like realistic bow shooting or something. But the guy's nuts. He's just like bah, 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 bah. He's like just firing all day. And he's doing like roly polies. It's fucking cool. Go check it out. Anyway, you mean the stolen Welsh longbow? Listen, Dan, the English culture is stealing things and pretending they're theirs. Yeah, which is why I had a lovely English curry earlier in the week. Malk, well, my name is Malk, Milk E in Danish because I'm lactose intolerant. Is that true? Milky, nice. They've not included using reroll, one reroll per turn. Playtesters are up in arms. Not been reported yet. Is this true? Is that true, Donaldinho? So, because the being able to use one reroll a turn is quite a big deal, isn't it? Like for consistency and reliability. In a team. Fucking hell, sorry. Fucking don't want the Blood Bowl guys getting at me. Yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. There's also been some pretty massive news in the 40k community because 2 codexes, or 1 codex at least, is fully leaked, which, well done on them not producing digital copies of books. That's going to cut down on that piracy. That's really going to help out. So the whole Blood Angels codex is released, and also loads of datasheets and stuff from the Death Guard have also leaked as well. Yes, it's a core mechanic. Wow. Donal, that's massive. That's massive that they haven't included. Do you think it was like a typo, like they accidentally forgot about including the reroll, or it's intentional that they didn't put the reroll in? You'd have to go ask Mike. He'd know better than me. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. I did not know that. That's pretty fun. Would anyone like to see the paint scheme for my my Marines? It's pretty brilliant. It's silver all over. And then I just do a little bit of black, because it's the easiest colour to put on. And then I'm done. Oh, that's not really true. I do a little bit of a wash. I do a tiny bit of a dry brush. And then I pick out the leather in brown. But pretty much that's it. It looks nice. Pretty easy. Darren Latham's done a very similar colour scheme. Only his is like 1 billion times better than my colour scheme. And this is shit. But it's done. And that's the important part. Don't screw with what Blood Bowl players want, says Angle. They'll just throw you in a bin and carry on as they were. They will. That was one of the things that I took away yesterday. One of the things I took away yesterday from Mike is that the community, the Blood Bowl community, because it was so self-sufficient and self-reliant on its own for so many years, won't really give a fuck about what Games Workshop say. I assume they're just going to continue on with whatever they want, right? I don't think the playtesters caught it. Maybe it's intentional. Wait, Death Guard's been leaked. Slide into my DMs. We'll repay you with Nathan OnlyFan Picks videos. Well, the hot news on the Death Guard leaks is that Demon Engines now hit on 3s as opposed to 4s, if that makes you feel any better. Are those Silverines any specific Space Marine chapters you custom won? Grinaldi, my Space Marine chapter is a rip-off of Nikos's Space Marine chapter, which is the most generic colours and undistinguishable as possible. So if I want them to be, I don't know if you've seen, but these Hellblasters look very much like a White Scar Successors chapter to me. And then if I turn them from this angle, they look like a Blood Angel Successor chapter. And if I look at them from like a 45-degree angle this way, you can see a Space Wolf Successor chapter. So that's my scheme, as usable as possible in a game where basically one army has 37 rules. Is my paint scheme. Do you mean the Ultra Raven Iron Scar Hands? Yeah, let me write that down because that's the name of them now. The Ultra Raven Iron Scar Hands is the name of my chapter. Demon Engines also got extra attacks, but Blight Drones lost a wound. That's fine. Sorry, try not to sneeze. Yeah, it's really exciting. Fuck yeah, like Death Guard stuff getting boosts, but specifically the stuff that's cool. Blight Drones weren't ever very good, or I didn't think that they were very good. And you didn't see tons of them, so it'd be nice to see the Demon Engine element get a lot of love because they're freaking cool. What crime would be possible with bows anyway? Hard to sneak bows into a bank for a cheeky bit of robbery, I'd imagine. Well, someone yesterday, a big shout out to Dawn40k on Twitter, tagged me in a post. And effectively, bow crime is just, if you don't know, Nottingham actually has a fairly serious knife crime problem. I'm not laughing like, ha, but you know, you roll with the punches, as life is. And bow crime really is just knife crime with social distancing. So I really respect the Nottingham bowers. Is that what they're called? Bowmen? I mean, and bow women. It's 2020. You could be a bow criminal of any gender. Like, bow it up, baby. That's what I say. Fuck, I've really started this one too. I was really excited when I came on the show, and I've just started way too pacey. I've just flown through a variety of topics, and none of them have been useful. I'm just going to slow myself down and just paint for a second. There we go. All right, I'm back in the room, everyone. They're called archers. That makes sense. Hence, it didn't go where I expected. Nottingham Stabbers sounds like a Blood Bowl team someone should do. I agree. Bowfolk. That's the name. The Gentle Bowfolk. Yeah. Right, so I haven't had much chance to catch up with you all this week because I've just been listening to the guests. Are you all well? What are you up to? Sorry again, I see you in the chat. I know you've moved house. And Everyone's painting. Didrin, Scrunty Hugh, you still doing Seraphon, or have you moved on? What are you up to at the minute? I met my wife doing archery at university. It's always comforting that if everything turns to shit, then I can resort to raiding Nottingham with my bow. That's awesome. I've got another question as well. So Donald's in the chat. Donald has just recently become a father. If we could all congratulate Donald. By recently, I mean like this year. And I know there are many dads in the chat. I ask this a lot as someone who doesn't have a child. Are we teaching our kids like very strong survival skills? Because I feel like it's necessary. Do you know what I mean? Like the sea waters are rising. Like, are we teaching them to sail? We should at least teach them bow stuff. I feel that would be nice. I think that would be useful. Oh, that guy 46 is playing Aeronautica Imperialis at an event this weekend. Any elite stretch you can lay on me? Fucking God knows. God knows. Like, good luck. That's all I could say. Razor Wolf is painting Iron Jaws. All right, bud. You got a particular paint scheme, or just like, also Iron Raws is particularly. I like the idea of Metal Kid Iron Jaws. Getting ready for a new year, new army challenge. Ooh, okay. How's everyone doing with their? Now, when I ask this question, I'll ask it in a minute because I've just already asked the question. I spent the last 2 weeks painting a single mini for Secret Santa. Lucky bastard. 2 weeks. Fuck! That's going to be a fucking sweet-ass one. I spent 400 odd quid on 3D printer accessories. Hermanista, yes, baby. Haven't opened it yet. 2 weeks later and carried on painting toy soldiers instead. Didn't you say that it was in your front room and you're too scared to open it? Open it right now. I demand you go over, put that paintbrush down, give it a little wash, go and open it up. You need to. Because there's 2 weeks of printing you've lost out on. You just keep printing. What are you going to print as well? Get on it. Sorry again in the chat, he's been doing some printing. He knows what he's doing. Start doing it, Hermanista. I'm going to encourage you right now. I'm assembling some penitent engines that I'm covering in corpse grinder walkers for a campaign day. Donald started using oil paints. Is that right? Like, that's scary. I saw that recently. I think there's some really good... there's some good tutorials online. I've started following someone called Lutin, but not the guy that does narrative videos, but a guy that does like a kind of grimdark paint style, and I've been trying to copy that recently, so that's fun. Warhammer is a dad game, as Haywo say recently. Let's unpack that. It's got a lot of dads in it, definitely. You need some expendable income, and some structure, but that doesn't mean I don't know a whole bunch of young people that are in it too. And a whole bunch of young people who want to be a part of it. I guess it's around that time, yeah. I let my kids watch Mad Max to prepare them for the future. Fuck. Ben Boyd, I want to bring 308 clan rats and a plague priest to Adepticon next time it happens. Whew. That is horrific, Ben Boyd. Are you painting them up? That sounds awful. Skinny Boots is painting Blight Kings. I'm painting my Sorcerer's conversion for my Living City army. Ooh, okay. That sounds fun. What have you converted out of? Chris, I'm choking on soup because clearly I can't remember how to human. Come on, Chris. Got a brand new studio. Get it sorted. Well, new. No need to teach survival skills. We will be dead 30 days after the drill presses who was last day. Oh, God. I'm working on gates from catacombs, says Jabs. That sounds really interesting. I'm doing Peter Wargamer's a painting guide. What a nice man. Had him on the show. Little lovely fella. Hadn't seen him since, has he? Just turned up for the clout and he's left. He's a nice guy, though. I like talking to him. I started playing the Warhammer video game Chaos Bane. It's pretty sweet. Okay, that's cool. I'm trying to avoid computer games because I feel like if I'll do nothing because... Anyway, I'm just prepping. I'm prepping for Super Series and events. That's what I'm doing. That's all I care about. I get that. My New Year army is a Bretonian army. I did my Gore Grunters as Bretonian Knights, if anyone wants a cool idea and is a better painter than me. So a whole bunch of heraldry on a bunch of Gore Grunters, paint each one up individually. They've got some really big armor plates. You could do some pretty cool Bretonian-esque Gore Grunters, in my opinion, if you wanted a super sweet army to paint with. Marcos from NGM is my current favourite painting. Oh, send me a link, don't know if you don't mind. I might have accidentally bought 2 sharks on my Lumineth. you're a bastard. I'm so sorry. That's true, though. You are a bastard. No hobby for me until I finish moving house, as MJ Pegasus. I'm betting heavy on Broken Realms and getting a Sylvaneth army in the new year. Okay, that's fun. One of the other things I'm working on at the minute is rebasing my Order army. So all of my Sylvaneth, because I'm like you, I think Sylvaneth are going to make a comeback in the Broken Realms. I've got no reason to think that. No reason. They can't get worse. Narrator. They could get worse. My company's bought a new 3D printer, which apparently takes up to 9 square meters of space. Might try to sneak in a piece of terrain, see how it fares. Yeah, go for it, Matt Readiness. Let us know. The key cycle is to get young people in so they have fond memories when they are adults with disposable income and allured back, says Scott B. Yeah, I think that's fair. I got into Warhammer before I was physically mature enough to even be a dad, says Nikita Williams. It's true. I didn't do that process. I didn't get it to when I was young and come back to it later. Just came to it late. I'm about to start my Gloomspite Grinch Christmas Gifts project. Oh, Milky, this sounds great. This weekend, Red Hooded Grots is stealing Christmas on a scary albino snowman squigs. Yes, I am into that. Question, could you do some Troggoths as actual Grinches? That would work. That would be super sweet. Fuck, that's cool. Pick of the third gear in the live show Discord chat. Your request, demand I'll open the box then, lol. You could do it. Okay. I'll put pick of the 3D gear at your request, demand I'll open the box then, lol. Come on, buddy. Open it up. Has anyone ever put results up with a penumbral engine? Yes, Xenothor business. It used to be Benjamin Sava took a very specific Legion of Grief list, which didn't include a penumbral engine. And in fact, actually, Darren and Benjamin, both the only two people I know of, and if there are other people in the world who did, the penumbral engine, for anyone who doesn't know, is an Age of Sigmar scenery war scroll, which you can buy into your army. I think it was, and maybe still is, 100 points, and basically it gives you the ability to generate some CP. Roughly, you could generate about 3, sometimes maybe 4, which meant the 100 points you paid back in CP. But CP isn't really a resource you're able to get via points or any other mechanic in an army. So that was one of those systems that got used. So yeah. That was a thing. Yes, that's a thing. Hey Dan Don't, what's happening, bud? Hope you're well. To be fair, as a single lad on the prowl, I would never pick up such an uncool hobby. Now that the family is sorted, I can finally be the nerd I've always wanted to be. I don't want to point everyone to my Take Girls to Warhammer World on Dates episode, but you definitely should take girls to Warhammer World on Dates, obviously, ignoring COVID, one day again. Because I would generally find, like, whether or not it's a woman or a man, whoever you want your partner to be, they are genuinely, like, excited by passion. Like, if you're passionate about something, people find that attractive, or it's at least something I find attractive. And showing someone, I mean, obviously, clean your house, throw out all your pee bottles. I'm joking, of course. But, like, normally showing people your toys, I find, is, like, genuinely an attractive thing. So I never feel it's detracted from my ability to date, if that helps. I love these solo casts. Hot take, says Dan Don't. All right, well, yeah. I just solo casts. I like doing these. Once a week is fine for me. Having a chat with you guys, I love catching up with you, like, more intimately. I think it's fun. But, like, there's such great guests who I have on the show who've got so many good things to say. Nick, Tom. Like, fucking Owen's unbelievable. I could just listen. Owen could do his own show comfortably. Like, he knows what he's talking about, in my opinion. It's just wonderful blokes, Yeah, don't throw out the pee bottles. Keep them. All right, I'll keep them. Is Shootcast Games Workshop's response to Nottingham's rampant bow crime? Maybe. Games Workshop, being based in Nottingham, would probably be concerned by the rampant bro crime, at least concerned. I've lost my paintbrush. How much do you like playing against netters? I mean, Gits are the best, let's be honest. Just every time he says it, you might just want to hit there. It's like, Nathan, it's been 5 years, mate. I fucking know. To be fair, if you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have fucking registered. So, but don't tell him that. That's not. Hi, Rob. Can you take pictures of your collection of all your AOS and 40k armies your thirsty OnlyFans are waiting? Bud, I can't. I don't know if I could put it all in a picture. But I could try. I'll take a picture. I'll put it in the Discord. The Honest Wargame Discord. I'll put a picture of what I'm currently working on. I'm rebasing my Seraphon. Now, there may be some people in the chat who've seen my Seraphon army. Maybe. Some of it is really nice. Some of it's not as nice. But it's been slapped on a bunch of different bases over the course of the years because of, obviously, Warhammer Fantasy Battle to Age of Sigmar to, like, random event here, random event there, thrown in a box. So I'm rebasing my Seraphon army now. And it's like 200 skinks, 200 saurus, like a billion monsters, a whole bunch of like I've got 12 miniature salamanders / Razordons, 5 Razordons, 5 salamanders. Like, that's just my Seraphon army. It's fucking nuts. It would nuts. I would pay to play Nathan. Would anyone else in the chat pay to play Nathan, Tom, Nick, or Nick? Any of those? Who would you pay to play? If you could pay to play any of the show hosts, who would you pay to play? I guess. Your Seraphon was professionally rebased. Elements of it was professionally rebased, definitely. But the rest of it could probably do with a rebasing as well. So I'm gonna sort that. I'd love to play Nathan. How many Saurus Knights? 0 Saurus Knights. I own like 20, but 0. I'd pay to play Corn against James. I'd pay for that. I'd play. I've played Tom and Nikos. Does that mean I owe the show cash? It does. Specifically, just PayPal them direct to Nick and Tom, please. I've got my shit pushed in by Tom too many times. I would pay Nathan. I love to play anyone for lots of things, and I would pay double to play a Salamander list against him. That sounds mean. There's some sort of sick pleasure, I think, in watching the people who you know love and or hate something, watching them do the thing that you love and or hate. Like making Nathan not play a Gitz army would be very funny, or not like if you made him play with elves. Oh my god, it'd be like a stretch goal. We should organise that at some point when real tournaments are a thing. We'll generate some amount of money for charity or something, so Nathan can't say no. And then if we did it to a dog charity, he'd be like, he wouldn't be able to say no. He'd just be like, for God's sakes. And then we'd just make him play elves at an event. That'd be great. I'd pay to play Tom because the hobby would be worth paying to see. I would then try and annoy him as much as possible. I'd just have a GoFundMe to play a Liberator Yeetwing versus Dan. Dan was not happy about that, was he? Not happy about that. I think everyone has their line in the sand on stuff that is like too strong, like for a competitive game, or it's like too bullshit. And I guess that comes out of all of us at some points, and is a challenge. I'd like to play 2,000 points of Liberator versus Liberator lists versus Dan. It's not really, well, I don't know. Like, has anyone had any thoughts about the Liberator thing since, well, specifically Stormkeep Patrol is a War Scroll battalion that's found in the New Marathi book, and it gives you the ability to redeploy pre-game 2 units wholly within 12 inches of Lord Veritan. Pretty strong, because you can put 2 units to 30 Liberators within that bubble, which is 60 wounds, which have a 4-up save. They can get a 3-up save and then go to a 2-up save, and so it's pretty scary. Got any thoughts? Or not any thoughts? It's boring as fuck is what it is. It is. It is. What does everyone think about just banning it? Like, real question. How would you feel like if someone was like, just ban it? That's my question. I don't mind it, says Hawkeye. Okay, and Hawkeye plays a lot of like professional AOS. Ace was getting pretty tipsy when we had a grudge. Would love to game against him hammered. Lee Bromley, you'd have a great time with him. Just kick the objective over them and walk away. You're not going to be able to walk over them, though, is the problem, that guy. So you just be kicking away from yourself as well. 30 Iron Drakes, Ren 3 is my plan. Okay. I guess that's the thing. I've heard the way to deal with... I'm not going into that. Do KO boats count in it? No, because you can just like pin out the KO boats. Like maybe, but it depends. I don't think so. I'd be fine with it. No banning. Okay. I don't like the idea of just banning things. Okay. Well, that's fine because I'm going to get 60 liberators. Like I'm on the other side of this now. For a long time, I've tried to be like, in my head, at least a conscience for like where a game should be at to a degree. Like this is a bit strong. For instance, Iron Hand's a good example for 40k if we talk outside of the Age of Sigmar bubble for a moment. You know, and the ITC guys at that point were like, we're going to ban Iron Hands, and then they did an FAQ. So I guess like the real question is, are you against banning, or would you like to see what happened with Vanguard Wing for Age of Sigmar happen, and what happened with Iron Hands happen for 6 months to a year? Like, hashtag only bans. If tournaments want to ban it, that's cool. I don't do tournament games. I just want it not to get nerfed before I can use it once against my friend that just plays stupid filth. Okay. I think you just do the pick your boat up and put it on the other side of the board every time they try and pin you in. Yeah, you can, but it's not about that. It's about like the rest of your army, because you do have some Arcanauts, yeah, and you do have some other stuff. And the boats are fine, but they're a single model. And if they don't score, they don't score. I'd love to see them get a 4+ DPI. What the? Yeah, me too. That's what I want to see them get. Banning based on actual results is different than banning based on theory. Hammer says Team and Cash. Yeah, they also didn't ban They also didn't ban Slanesh, Vanguard Wing, Change Host, Old School, not New School, but New School counts as well. Or Daughters of Cain when they were in those categories as well. They just won every tournament. It's not really a let's wait till the results conversation, because it's already broken at delivery. It doesn't take much to work it out, like, because you do this a lot, right? I think it's a good charity game would be a list swap game. You in secret write a list for Nathan, and he does the same for you. Then you swap the list at the table and play what you're given. Oh no! All right. The issue I have with bans is you risk making tournament results unrepresented the main scene. What is the main scene? You and your mate playing in your garage? Like, that's not the main scene. Like, me and Nathan have a game that's not representative of, like, the game. It's just us having a laugh. The problem is Griffhounds pretty much screen you off the board, so you can't teleport anyway. Math Mallow is correct. Math Mallow being on the receiving end of this, me and him both played it twice, I think. It's not fun. I like perfect starter army for people getting into AOS. You can get Liberators for nothing these days. It is a pretty good starting army. Nicky D. Williams, you need data to back it up first. Okay, but then that's the horse out of the gate, right? Anyway, like, it's not going to get banned, so I don't give a shit. I just thought I'd bring it up. I'm on the other side of it now. I'm just like, cool, I'm just going to get 60 Liberators. Like, it's that easy. Like, I'm just going to be the other side of the fence. And then when everyone comes to show, like, how did he win? I'll be like, super easy, it's dumb, it should never have got past, like, playtesting. Like, that's where I'll be on the other side of the fence. I'll just call it out, like, from the podium, as opposed to call it out from the commentary box. It's an easier place to take it, I think. I'm not justifying it, Lee. I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to make them look like shit. I'm just going to spray fucking gold, do a dry brush, pick out a colour, bang them on the table, and just pin someone in turn one, and be like, see how fun Warhammer is, and they'll be like, no, Rob! Do you feel that DOK that we will see a rise in Melusai, or do you think that the Witches will still be a better choice? I still think the Witches are a better choice, but that doesn't mean that we won't see a rise in Melusai, Witches and Snake Ladies. It's cool when, like, Games Workshop increases the internal parity of an army, so, like, the snakes are better than they were before, which is sweet. So now, like, someone who wanted to run snakes anyway is now running snakes again, and with a better chance of playing those snakes in a tournament. That's actually really fucking cool, in my opinion. That's exciting. Like, that's fun. Like, is there a better option? Yes. Does that mean you have to take the better option? No. Like, but it depends what hat you're wearing and what question you're asking me. What's the best option for possibly taking out a tournament? I'd say Witch Elf Sisters of Slaughter. Like, what is also fun, and like what is also good, and you could do well with, yeah, snakes. Like, but I think you have a better chance. It's just like a 3-up versus a 4-up. Like, Witch Elves and thingies are a 3-up, and maybe snakes are a 4-up. It's that easy, right? What's worse, 60 Liberators, 80 Sentinels, or 30 Eels? That, Hellstorm Dan, is a great question. And it comes up with what Nick, who's in the chat, brings up a lot. Is Age of Sigmar quite spammy? Spammy. Is it a bit spammy? Oh, Plymouth Troll Slayers, thanks for subscribing, babe. What's going on? We're just talking about all your... I've decided, by the way, it's called the Adam Mumford list. The Liberators. I know Darren Watson wrote the list and talked about it on the List Diary show. But Darren's an angel, and we really don't want to attribute that list to him. So if we attribute it to... And plus, people have already stolen the list anyway and put it on their own podcast. So why don't we just say it's Adam's list, and then we can just blame him if it works. Make Doomfire Warlocks great again? Were they ever great? First question. Snakes are worse than they were before if you're just jamming them into a good list, though. That's a good point. They are. Crystal Touch getting nerfed so you can't add attacks is a thing. But overall, if you build around snakes, I think you can do a better list with snakes. How dangerous are snakes with bows in Nottingham? Oh my god. Not making any ex-girlfriend jokes, which is... I'm really proud of myself. I guess with AOS, most armies only have a small set of units, especially Battleline, which makes things seem a bit spammy. I guess the 80 Sentinel list, the Eels list, which is probably like the most obvious and most common version of that. For all things, do you know what? For all things that you can say about Change Host, it requires you to have like some variety to a degree in a list. You know, like you've got, and you can change it around a bit. You've got the Lord Change, you've got different, not changelings. Oh God, what demon heroes, whatever they're called. And then you've got obviously like if you want to put flamers in, if you want to put screamers in, if you want to put pink horrors in. So there's some adaptability inside that. Yeah, it's a one drop. Yeah, it's got some obnoxious rules to a degree, but like ultimately, it's like it gives you variety inside of it while still giving you the thing. It's kind of cool. Like, I think in some cases, they don't buff units up enough, so you just try and take the unit that's the best. It is oftentimes the case. 2 drops Eels now, baby. Yep, I know, that's the thing. Way back at the start of the first lockdown, I asked a question. Would the lockdown period create enough hobby time for people to finish painting new armies? Says Her Minister. That would change the meta. So 7 to 8 months later, do we think that we might have that might still actually happen? Or is it people now have 30, more people have 30 Eels, for example? That's a good point. And I guess really the people to ask would be the people in the chat. What has everyone done with their hobby time? And if you've done none, that's fine. You don't have to be motivated. You don't it's been a global pandemic. It's an incredibly unique time for everyone. If you haven't done anything, that's okay. And the idea that you just have to produce because you're alive is obviously some sort of mono, crypto capitalist push to turn you into a human slave. So don't worry about that. If you've done any, though, what have you done? Yeah. And, why have you done it? Would be a really interesting question. For me, I've just worked on my backlog, which is significant. So I painted Orcs and Seraphon and Marines and Death Guard and Endless Spells. And next up, it's Terrain. So I've just been working on everything I had. I've bought almost nothing new. And I've just painted up everything with the idea that these are armies, these work. I'm just going to flesh them out, get them battle ready. And then when I can play games, I'll play games. So that's been what I've done. Also, invented a sport. That's either here or there. Don't need to talk about that. Stripped and repainted all my Seraphon with contrast paints. Holy shit! You should raffle those. Thousand Suns, Fleshy Courts, and Lumineth. So Diadrin, you're also an amazing painter. So have you been doing that as projects or competitive projects? Because they feel like competitive projects. Ben Boyd painted so much, 1 Mangler Squig away from 2,000 point Squig Army for slow grow campaign. Amazing, Ben. Fucking congrats, bud. Learned to airbrush and started a Khorne Demons army, painted about 2,000 points in 6 weeks. Good shout out, Nicky Williams. Finished my Deepkin, but there's only 18 Eels. Did 1,000 points to Gene to the Courts and some new Marines. Well done, Scott B. Gene to the Courts, 1,000 points to Gene to the Courts. That's a lot of models. Dark Design, I painted 1,375 models this year. And do I have an army? Maybe. Fuck. That's a lot of models. Jesus. Currently painting a funny 10 steam tank list to face my Blood Gullets and War Stamper list. Linus! Oh, what up, Linus? Hope you're well. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. 10 steam tanks would look awesome on the tabletop as well. I've done a load of hobbies since lockdown started. I've worked through it, so painting has been a nice way to keep myself sane. I've got 2,000 points of Beast Called Raiders done, 2,000 points of Savage Uruks, 3 coloured and ready to finish, and 2k of Iron Jaws all converted up. That's amazing. Patrol says, I picked up 60 Liberators because... Good. I painted I painted Terminators for Crusade games and Caradron for Slow Grow starting soon. I purged my backlog almost completely about a month before Rona hit. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Most people aren't able to do that. I was really motivated at the beginning, painted loads, loads for me. Safe starters mainly, not that motivated. Now, unfortunately, been gluing a unit of Custodians this week. Would you say that a lot of people, do you guys feel that you've lost a tad, like a bit of motivation because like there isn't really an end point in sight? I guess. I mean, for some places like the Aussies, they're like laughing, like they're able to have events now, so there seems like some sort of like end point and goal. But I can see having the motivation and keeping up with it really hard this early. I really can. I've literally just painted up one of those McFarlane Big Marines as a side of the Emperor. Apart from that, just bought and built more that never get painted. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry. Don't give yourself a hard time. I painted 2 Necromunda crews, 1 table worth of terrain, and a Warcry terrain, says Demeep. And a Death Guard and army and a half Demons army, ploughing through my Tower of Ambition, hoping I can finish it all before I expire. The Tower of Ambition. Is Tower of Ambition the name of your hobby pile? Because that's a much... Stop calling it... So, have you guys ever heard of the Walk of Shame? So, you've been on a night out, you've had an illicit love affair with the woman and or man of your dreams, and or both, or all, who knows? You've had a great time, and then you walk home and people are like, hey, Walk of Shame. As a nightclub promoter, I've seen Walk of Shame a lot. But then many years ago, someone described to me that we should stop calling it Walk of Shame and instead call it the Stride of Pride. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with, like, sleeping with someone you find attractive as long as you're both safe and it was, like, consensual. There's a fucking wonderful experience and everyone should be joyous and applaud. You should give them a clap, round of applause, give them a jacket, give them a cup of tea and say, I hope you keep your electrolytes up. You've done a good job. So, maybe we should stop calling our piles of shame, and start calling them our towers of ambition. I'm actually going to write that down. That is a more positive spin. Tower of Ambition. That's what I'm calling it now. It's the Tower of Ambition, and I'm not changing my mind. Fucking Tower of Ambition. Well done there. Thank you, Demeep. Finished 2,000 points of Custodians and Corn Demon, says Deep Power Hobby Channel. Oh, well done. That's good. Donald Jr. I've worked on my Ogres, only done 800 points, but pushing my ability beyond previous armies. Also doing one-off models to try new techniques. Learning new things has been something I've really appreciated during lockdown. I've spent a lot of time trying to learn new stuff. Lee Bromley. Painted 2 Lord of the Rings armies and a Blood Bowl team done. Now started to get AOS buzz again. I mean, that's great. Lord of the Rings armies is sweet. I finished armies so that I can take more armies to tournaments. That's what I've done, Mr. Tiga. Iron Jaws and FEC are done, and Living City and Idneth are in the making. I think the cities is my biggest current tower of ambition for me to deal with. Do we have any results on the new Stormcast Liberators smash list? I've lost to it 3 times. If that helps. Adam's in the chat, Plymouth Troll Slayers. I wonder if he's got anything he can say about how many games he's won with it. I was so hoping the Living City Steam Tank army was going to be a thing. I'm sorry, Ben. That is rough. I've very nearly finished 2,000 points of Stegodons now. 2,000 points of Stegodons. Wow. That'll be a cool looking list. Yeah. I do hope... Oh, sorry, guys, there's loads of comments. If anything, I've gained motivation in all of this. Maybe it's something to do with Danes being able to play, but I have been painting more this year than ever before, Mr. Higa. Yeah, I think the people who've been able to play have been a thing. Agamembar, hey, bud. I think that if there was more tournament or just the ability to visit people for games to show off results, that would help. I agree with you. For me, it was just to get something new to play on the table once we were on the other side, but it really just kept me busy and sane through this period. That's probably true for everyone, I think. Yeah, same for me as well. What we reset the clock on. I lose motivation when Games Workshop isn't motivated to update the app. Oh, that's what we reset the clock on. Does everyone remember Games Workshop have made a 40k app with an army builder? like 4 months ago, they were like, couple of weeks, you'll have the army roster built. It's like, all right, couple of weeks. It's like 4 months. Rob doesn't understand and/or... Oh, is it a Slayer reference? I hate Slayer. Motivation's been low because of no prospect of games anytime soon. I've been doing bits and pieces though. You can do it, Dudo Shuttlegate. Don't worry, you don't have to be motivated. Just do a little bit, clear your head, go for a walk, come back, do some hobby if you want to. If you don't want to, just fucking bang on some Netflix or watch a Bat Report. Have a great time. You owe no one nothing at all. The Pile of Glory. Pile of Potential is also good. Tower of Ambition is good, though. Pile of Potential. Because pile is still a negative word, I think. There's nothing good that's in a pile. Like, name me one pile of something good. That sounds like something from the Hobby Room. I don't know what that is. Is that a YouTube channel? I'm now addicted to Blood Bowl 2 on the PS5. And that's cutting into my modelling, but at least it feels like a game. It's really fun. How do you plan for building armies when rules make changes to units being viable so much that you end up having to almost overpurchase to get an army together? Pissball General, I would argue that the right way to go about it is to stick within an army, which is a problem. Like, if you bought Beast of Chaos, for example, you would just end up with all of the units in Beast of Chaos painted, but none of them being really viable. I mean, some of the stuff that's useful in Beast of Chaos, for example, Zangor, Skyfires, and Enlightened, are also playable in the Tzeentch army, so you can kind of move around with that a little bit. But I guess it's a tough question. Sassu, have a couple of armies that are different to each other is the real answer. And I know that's like, fuck, just spend all that money, Rob. That's your answer. It's a tough one. Like, if you give advice to new players, like, it's a hard one to say. Hey, welcome to 40k Raging of already these things. You'll buy something and it may be good, but it very quickly might not be good soon, or it could be good for 3 fucking years. There's literally no way to tell. So I think generally, like, have a couple of armies that you can play about with and then just flesh them out. So you've got as many units in them as possible while they're good. And then, I mean, some people sell them and then move on. I don't do that because then when something pops up and is good again, you've just got it ready to rock. Because there's a lot of investment in actually getting the stuff ready. So I understand the cycle of, like, you know, let's say you had an army that was good, I don't know, let's pick any army. You had an army that was good, you sold it, and now you want to buy one of the new armies. You want to buy Lumineth or something, you know, so you can get into that. That kind of makes sense. But then Lumineth, for some reason, get nerfed or their points go up or whatever the situation. You know, you think, oh, I'm going to move on again now. Like, so you're in this constant cycle of production, which I find that actually quite hard. So I like to just have the army ready to rock, and then you can just play it. And it's also fun for your mates. Like, you'd be like, I've got a Seraphon army. Do you want to play with it? Like, yeah, cool. I'll use this army. That's sweet. So that kind of works for me. And I guess maybe I wrote about this in the workbook. If you've got like a local community, like if you're in a smaller group of people and your friends get in, let's say Lumineth, then don't also get Lumineth. Get a different army. And then you guys can swap and change. Like, can I borrow your Lumineth army for a couple of days? Yeah, of course. You know, I would say that that's probably the best way about it. We don't all need to own every army. We can just share our friends' armies. And I think that's what gaming clubs are so good for, and little communities. And so that's my advice. I think that was a lot of waffle because really I didn't have an answer for it, if I'm honest with you. Like, they just fuck stuff up sometimes. What can you do? Pile of women, pile of gold, pile of gits, pile of beweebs, pile of boobs. More than 2 boobs, I think, is Timothy boobs. A pile of dead enemies. Jesus, Gorkamok. Jesus. Living up to the name. Fuck. The hobby room is Kemi Channel. Oh, I didn't know that, Darker Design. I'm so sorry. I hope she's well. She seems like a really nice lady. Has anyone seen the Blood Angels leaks? I have. There's a whole video up on the Blood Angels leaks. Like, the whole thing's out. Death Guard's out, Blood Angel's out. It's nuts. Is it even been announced for pre-order? Because I assume it's pre-order this weekend. Or has it been announced for pre-order already? So if it hasn't, then it's leaked a week early, which is a pretty big deal. You've got to have friends to borrow their armies. You do. That is. But I can't teach you how to get friends. That's the. I don't know what to say. One of the things I loved most about events was making new friends. Does anyone else miss that? Going to an event and you just make a new pal. You're like, oh, I fucking love playing Warhammer. It's that guy. Let's be friends. That was the best. I really miss that. Really miss that. Sorts of buds again. Yes. Yeah. Gorkan Walker, I use my lockdown to complete 2,000 points in every Gan Alliance. Fuck yeah, Gorkan Walker. Congratulations. That's good. Making new friends in DLC Patreon comes soon. I might just ask Nathan these questions. Yeah, I wish I was making some Warhammer mates. That would be really cool. Like, especially like, I mean, I was obviously very fortunate. I would like to think I worked very hard as well. But I was also very fortunate that I got to travel around the world to go to events to do coverage, which meant I got to meet loads of people. Like, I haven't just met, like, let's give an example, super fun, like Elf Bro. I haven't just met Elf Bro alone, or like Sam, like Morgan, like, or Danny Paints. Like, Danny Paints is such an understated character. So this is Danny. If you haven't seen Danny online, he painted a beautiful at CanCon this year. He painted a beautiful Kharadron Overlord's army and put it in a barrel. But I got to hang out with him for a couple of days, and it was just, I never met him before. Like, to hang out. I met him last year at CanCon, but like not properly. And you just like really start to like understand people and hang out with them, and it's just awesome. And I really do think there's something in the human condition which is made better by meeting new people and sharing who you are and them sharing who they are with you. And then I do think that Warhammer, or specifically tabletop gaming or in-person gaming, which is why there's an explosion in board gaming, is so much better. Obviously, there's a huge conversation going on constantly about mental health, and specifically men's mental health is a thing that we talk about a lot at the minute. You know, we just had World Men's Health Day, and playing games with your mates is just so rewarding. And you're playing computer games is fun, but at the end of the day, you're just left in your house on your own. But going out there, I'm not going on about too much, so I don't want to make anyone sad. But I'm very much looking forward to going out and seeing all you dickheads again, and then hanging out and just doing that. That'll be really fun. I played Danny Paints at LGT. Did you? Oh, he didn't come over to England, is he? Did you? I'm not sure that's true. We might be thinking of someone else. Don't know. I had friends that played 60 Liberators. My lockdown has literally been buying too much and painting too little. Got to support the local shop though, so I guess that redeems it. That does help, Semp the Great. Well done. Miss you. Oh, miss you too, intern Matt. Yes, can't wait to see you again. You fucking weeboo trainers. Yeah. Anyway, I think when we can all get back to it, it's going to be fun. How's everyone doing with keeping in touch with their community online? Is everyone doing okay? Like, how's everyone doing with, you know, like keeping like Discord groups going and D&D like chats and all those sorts of things? Have people got WhatsApp groups for like their gaming mates where they like talk about whatever's going on in the game right now? That's always a fun thing. I feel like this is my community, so like I'm super fortunate. I talk to all you guys, like very happy with what I've got going on, so it's good for me. Don't miss you anymore. I've been working on having a home table of some sort so I can have people around when I'm allowed, in lieu of clubs at least. In-person gaming is the best. Yeah, baby. In-person gaming is the best. Are you talking? I think you're talking about. Are you talking about what's his face? Okay. If you start AOS now, as it is transitioning to 3rd edition, what armies and books would you do thinking for new players? Okay. If you start AOS now, as it's transitioning from 3rd edition, what armies and books would you do thinking for new players? Maybe Lumineth? They've got a variety of units. They've got spells. It's a brand new book. And the points might move around on it, but it would be very hard to make it non-viable. So, or maybe Osiarchs. Osiarchs is a good one as well. Bone Reapers. Probably Osiarchs, actually, maybe. I feel they're a very easy army to put on the tabletop and play with. 2 crawlers, a bunch of more tech, some characters is like very understandable and makes loads of sense. I'd maybe suggest doing a bunch of Stonehorns in more tribes, but the problem is like a few points adjustments and you can really fuck up that army, I do think. So I would be conscious of that, whereas I think you've got some maneuverability around them. So yeah, those would be my 2 suggestions, probably. Osiarch Bone Reapers or Lumineth would be my current bets. they're fairly easy to understand, and then if you want to get into super complicated stuff, you can, but you teach some fringe cases from the Lumineth, like the character models in the unit and stuff. Yeah, that would be my one. Video hangout when painting, which ends in drinking. Work better than our Discord and keeps me motivated to paint. Yeah. Nope, I WhatsApp you. That works for me. I've got a couple of Discord groups I'm in and some D&D over Discord, and WhatsApp makes me stuck in the flat on my own a bit more fun. Well done, Dudo Shutgate. That's the one. Fucking get out there. And if you are someone who's listening to podcasts, hey Gumbo Goat, hi Rob, do you think Techlist is a trap? Oh, what time is it? Sorry, I've got the dentist at 1, so I just want to make sure I'm not late. Okay, 5 minutes. Do I think Techlist is a trap? Let's quickly unpack that for everyone. One of the things that gets bandied around a lot, and maybe a term that we're a little bit unsure of, is the concept of trap. So the idea is that something in a book might appear to be good, but it isn't actually good, and so therefore is a trap, because you're buying it and painting it to use it in the game to realise it's not actually something that's useful. So, like, the term is Techlist a trap. I think you've got people like the wonderful Mr. Benjamin Sava, who, like, says things like that on Twitter, and of course, like, the man is a very, very good gamer. Multiple armies. Like, when I talk about Benjamin, like, and you hear me bang on about him, it's not because he's good, it's because he's provenly good time and time again with multiple armies in multiple formats and in multiple locations. So, and he thinks that that's the case, but, like, he also is looking at the game from a very different angle where he plays his way, and I think that's a really important point to note, that there's also, I think, viable Techlist builds as well. But the concept of trap, I think, is a hard one to express, because it sounds like a really simple term, but you're asking someone to distill volumes of knowledge in a very simple term, and I don't think it's really, like, applicable, I guess, because you would have to be operating and or playing at their level. So, and you can't just pick up an army list and play at someone like that's level. So, Techlist is a trap. He looks like Mrs. Doubtfire, but he's actually a dude. Yeah. But there's some Black Friday sales on. Is it Goblin Gaming or Black Goblin Gaming or something? Are currently doing like 30% off Techlist. I saw earlier. That seemed like a deal. So I think that's a cool thing. I mean, it's a cool model. I think if you get Techlist, you're building your list around Techlist, which is very different to being a trap. It's like it's more orientated around the list. Like we talked about Snake Ladies earlier. If you're getting Snake Ladies, you're building your list around Snake Ladies. You aren't just plugging and playing them into Snake Ladies. Whereas Be'lakor is something you plug and play into loads of armies. Celestin Prime, plug and play into loads of armies. Croak, plug and play into every Seraphon list and any ally slots that you want to put them in, specifically Stormcast. So I would say things that are more of a trap are things like the Shootcast list at the moment, because a few points adjustments and you can really fuck that up. Goblin Gaming, thank you. They were doing 50% off recommended retail price. So I think that's based in the UK, Goblin Gaming. So yeah, they've got some 50% off deals, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Right, any questions before I go? I've enjoyed today. Thanks, buds. Thanks, buds. Tom Layton will be on the show tomorrow. We're going to be discussing the Space Wolf book. I know it's been out a while, but like this is our first like stab at it. Like, have a little chat. Honestly, it's a bit like more Marie. But whatever. We haven't talked about it yet, so we're going to talk about it. What AOS army do you have planned for 3rd edition? I don't know yet, bud. I'm still very excited about my Tzeentch army. It's all painted and done now. I'd like to add in a Manticore after I saw some gorgeous list with a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Manticore in. I'd like to add up some Slaves to Darkness stuff. So probably going to stick with my Tzeentch force. I've got a whole Seraphon army as well, and I'll probably play around with those. If I was going to a tournament, I'd probably take those with me, the Seraphon army, just because it's fairly easy to play and it's very, very strong. Yes, okay, Mr. Tiga, I will do, happily. Always love the shows, become a regular part of my day while working from home this year. Listen, we started this stream streak 200x days ago. We didn't know what it was going to be. It's become a big part of my life as well. So thank you very much. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been really fun. Yeah. And I mean, so we're definitely getting to hit a year. That's the plan. And if you guys are interested, I will be doing a Christmas Day show. Absolutely. I was thinking I might do the whole Christmas Day. We're going to get a Christmas hat, do a whole thing. It's going to be really fun. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So if you guys are alone at Christmas or around that Christmas time, there's going to be someone to hang out with. Because that is going to be some people. So, we always used to do this thing at the bar I used to work at. I used to do nights at. The guy that owned the bar, really, really nice guy called Das, he would always do a Christmas Eve. And then I would always just put a playlist on and work the bar with him, and we'd hang out. And there would just be all the waifs and strays from Nottingham who would need somewhere to hang out on a Christmas Eve because no one loves them like no one loves me. And we would just have a really nice time. So I think I'm going to do the same thing Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I'm going to do it with you guys. So that's going to be fun. So we'll have a good Christmas hang around. So if you guys are you don't have any plans or whatever you want to do, you let me know. And we're not far off 269, which is very exciting. I'm going to work out when that's going to be. Wherever I hang my bow, that's my home. That's true. The AOS start is Chaos Swords vs Dark Elves. It is not that, if that helps you out. Right, anyway. Twitch chat, YouTube chat, wherever you are. Everyone on this War Game Patreon couldn't do any of this without you, so thank you so, so much. And thank you to everyone on the podcast. Please do stay hydrated. Thanks for listening to The Honest Wargamer, and thanks for being you. See you soon.